What's up, Vikings fans? This is Matthew Deary of Minnesota Vikings Breakdown, coming to you with my recap of the Minnesota Vikings loss to the Indianapolis Colts, 23-20 in Week 2. So pretty much the summary of the Vikings side of the game is making mistakes. After we forced the Colts to punt the ball, we ended up getting a running into the kicker penalty. On a tangent, what a stupid penalty running into the kicker is. They already see absolutely no contact, so there's not a chance that they could at least get hit every now and then. Now, the next gaping penalty to hurt the Vikings' chances of winning this game is Jared Allen touching Andrew Luck when he's going out of bounds. Now, this is definitely all Jared Allen's fault. Especially being a veteran in this league, he's got to be a lot smarter than that. These two penalties definitely screwed the Vikings big time. Not only did it move the ball down the field 30 yards, but it kept the defense on the field, kept our offense and the opportunity of us scoring off the field, and also gave the Colts 3 points. And how many points was this game decided by again? So at the end of the game, the Colts would have been fighting to tie the game, not win it. Even aside from those two huge penalties, the Vikings still had plenty of other mistakes and miscues to really dig them into a deeper hole. Every single time the Vikings started to build some momentum offensively or defensively, we would find some way to shoot ourselves in the foot and move ourselves back, or move the Colts forward. The Vikings had 11 penalties for 105 yards. If the Vikings want to hang with even decent football teams, you gotta play mistake-free football. We are not the Oakland Raiders. Speaking of mistakes and miscues, the Vikings secondary was full of them yesterday. Now our base defense, the Tampa 2, is mostly set up to prevent big plays. Especially coming down to the last seconds of a half, most of the defensive coaches and most of the players are thinking, can't give up a big play here. They don't have a lot of time, so they're going to probably try and take some shots. So even considering that, they still allow Reggie Wayne to run a seam route right down the heart of their defense and catch a touchdown with 7 seconds left on the clock. Now, a play like that just shows how inexperienced or stupid or unprepared the Vikings secondary really was for this game. Even aside from that play, it seemed every single time the Colts needed a first down passing, they had one in their back pocket. The Colts realized pretty early in the game they weren't going to have much success running the football. The Colts' biggest rushing threat, Donald Brown, 16 carries, 45 yards. Most of the yards actually came from Andrew Luck scrambling, so he had 4 carries for 21 yards. So they deferred to their strength. Their number 1 overall pick, Andrew Luck, going against our woeful secondary. The Vikings secondary spends a lot of time in zone schemes, which means that they have to all be on the same page and know what each other is doing. We don't do a lot of man-to-man because we don't have a lot of talented cover corners or people that can match up well one-on-one, even against the Colts. Playing a lot of zone, you have to be in sync with the players in your unit. And for the past 2 weeks, the Vikings have been giving up big plays, giving up short plays for first downs, and worst of all, they aren't making any plays. They aren't knocking balls down or intercepting passes or making it difficult for the quarterbacks to make throws. The Vikings secondary is by far the biggest weakness on this football team. Now let's just not throw the Vikings secondary under the bus here. Vikings defense only netted 2 sacks yesterday against the Colts' mix and match terrible offensive line. And one of those sacks was from a linebacker. Simply put, the Colts offensive line outplayed us. In the NFL, you either make plays or you don't. And Jared Allen is our best defensive player. And in the past 2 weeks, I could count on one hand how many plays he's made. We definitely need him to step up if this defensive unit is going to have any chance this year. So let's move on to the offense. The biggest story yesterday is obviously Percy Harvin. Percy had 12 catches for 104 yards, 2 rushes for 13 yards, and that doesn't even count what he did in the kicking game. I'm glad Mike Musgrave is using Percy more in the offense, because when Percy was being fully utilized, our offense looked like a force to be reckoned with. Ponder got sacked 4 times, and that doesn't even count the hurries and rush throws that he made because they were putting pressure on him. And because of the pressure the Colts defense was bringing, Ponder started to get happy feet. He almost kind of looked like Joe Webb, where he was unsure of what was next, so he's kind of tucking the ball and trying to start running instead of staying in the pocket and progressing through his reads. Now, I don't think this is a step back for Ponder. He led 2 touchdown scoring drives in about 6 minutes when the Vikings' backs were to the wall. But it would be nice if we could see him show a little more poise in the pocket when it started to break down. Like I said when I started talking about our offense, if AP bogs down, Percy seems like our only credible threat. And that's something I really don't understand, because before the season started, Mike Musgrave and the coaching staff made it seem like we were going to be mirroring the two tight end set mentality of the New England Patriots. And Kyle Rudolph didn't honestly get targeted until late in the second half. And the saddest thing about it all is it takes the Vikings having a gun to their head to wake up and play football. It's like the first 3 quarters they're sleeping. I'm definitely not saying that the Vikings should have worked the Colts and beat them by 20 points. We at least should have beat them by a couple of scores. We were clearly the more talented team, but in terms of execution, we were not. Well, that's all I got for now, Vikings fans. As Vikings fall to 1-1 in the 2012 season. Next week we play the San Francisco 49ers at home, which most of you know you can pretty much chalk up as a loss because the San Francisco 49ers look almost unbeatable in their first 2 matchups. Their defense is stellar. They score when they need to. Until next week, somber recap, Vikings fans. Skol.